Hi, thanks so much for joining us today to get a glimpse of ways you might be able to engage in some support in your role that will be being served as CSPD Week Workshop Champion and Room Host. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Omar Shepard. I have the honor of serving as a project specialist in computer science education with the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. This is a recap of a presentation we shared just last week alongside my program manager, Dr. Sonal Patel, to engage with CSPD Week champions and room hosts in preparation for their role during CSPD Week. So during this presentation, we'll be able to do things like take a look at what are some of the responsibilities for before the workshop in your role as a workshop champion. What might be some things you'll need to be mindful of or aware that you'll need to engage in during the workshop as a champion and room host? And then, of course, after the workshop, what might be some things that you can do to best support ensuring a high quality workshop experience for both the facilitator and those attendees joining us during CSPD Week? And then finally, we'll take a look at the Countdown to Summer of CSPD Week calendar, which is a resource that can support you as you're preparing to plan for CSPD Week. So serving as a workshop champion room host is indeed a wonderful opportunity. It's a chance for you to be able to support participants that may have wonderings, as well as an opportunity for you to direct them to support as needed if there are wonderings beyond just about the workshop. We invite you to direct them to Seasons of CS at cdefoundation.org as they're able to support them with handling any issues, whether it's related to lodging or registration, as a way to make sure they receive efficient support. In addition to that, in your role before the workshop actually begins, you'll have an opportunity to meet with staff from the provider and their facilitators as a chance to learn about what agenda they prepared and ensuring what materials that they may need to make sure are either being delivered and or being made available during the workshop, as it is the provider slash facilitator's responsibility to ensure that anything for the workshop is brought into Anaheim for CSPD Week. So as you're preparing to review the agenda, we have developed a tool developed by the QPLS work group to support you in donning a lens as you're evaluating their agenda. There's a series of prompts there for you to consider, not so much for the facilitator to respond to, but for you to be able to evaluate the agenda to support you as you're engaging with them in dialogue. Now, one key aspect of preparation for service as a workshop champion is supporting the curation of a digital digest. This document essentially harnesses all of the links and the resources shared during the workshop and any new tidbits that come up. It also delineates all of the academic year workshops that will happen following the CSPD Week event. It's important to note that participants, when they sign their participant agreement form, are informed that it isn't just joining us during CSPD Week, but also joining us during the Summer of CS academic year workshops that will follow. Additionally, it's important to ensure that all of these materials are distributed to attendees. And one cool thing is by having this digital digest is you're able to send an email out to them and be able to get them those information. So one thing is important to also do before the workshop, because in your role as a room host, you will have an opportunity during the workshop to introduce the facilitators. However, prior to that, as you're meeting with them, you want to make sure that they get access to the sign in and sign out slides so they can make sure they add them to the deck. Essentially, what will happen is as we reach during the workshop, we'll have opportunities for folks to sign in and then be able to engage in a pre-workshop survey. They'll sign out daily, sign in each day, and then at the very end, do a end of workshop survey. So one way to best support our facilitators as they're preparing for this is to ensure we're meeting with them about 30 minutes prior to the workshop to really have a quick overview of the roles and host responsibilities. And then we as champion slash room hosts are able to then introduce the workshop facilitators. There is a script link that can give you access to the ability to be able to share introductions for the workshop, as well as the opportunity for you to be able to identify any additional support or logistical needs that you can be able to meet during the workshop prior to it getting started. One of the cool things is, as you wrap up at the end of the day, is the chance to help the facilitator make meaning of some of the dots and needs that may emerge at the end of the workshop. And that presents a great opportunity to ensure that everyone's having a high quality experience as the dots and needs are addressed. So as the workshop comes to an end and the end of the CSPD week has arrived, you'll have an opportunity to collect responses to post-workshop surveys, and the planning team will support getting those results over to the facilitators. Additionally, you'll be able to review the workshop digital digest and ensure that all the slides and resources are included. And one of the most important things we do in our role as workshop champions is going ahead and indicating full and active participation in Airtable and then closing out that workshop for CSPD Week. Hopefully, this review of the roles and responsibilities of a CSPD Week workshop champion / room host are helpful to you. And should you have any additional ideas or considerations, I invite you to give this here a gander. This is the Countdown to Summer of CS Planning Calendar, which actually is a tool to support you no matter which month you're actually engaging in the Summer of CS, or in fact, for CSPD Week, and helping you count down and looking at some things you can be able to engage in to support you as you're preparing to serve in your role. So as you reflect on the review of the role of a CSPD Week workshop champion and room host, what might be some wonderings you have about the role that linger? We invite you to send us an email. You can email me directly, omar.shepherd@sbcss.net, as I'd be honored to support you as you're preparing to serve in that role. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching the video. I invite you to take a look at the email as well as the resources linked right here within the slide deck shared, as there's a treasure trove available to you to support you as you're preparing to serve. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.